Now, it could happen, not 100% sure, but it seems like Gervonta Davis could end up fighting Frank Martin. That seems to be like the biggest rumor out there right now. If that fight was to happen, how do you think of it? How do you think of Frank Martin as a fighter? Just what are your thoughts overall, man?
Well, I love Frank Martin. I don't know what happened with him and Shakur. It just went sideways.
Bye. That's okay. Bye.
But it was crazy. It went in the wrong direction, and
of course, suicide about to weigh in, but
and we have to look at it that way. But we're talking about Gervonta Davis now. I think it's going to be an excellent fight, but I'm always fan of my nephew Gervonta against everybody, and I'm always going to be in his corner for that.
What does Frank have to do to essentially beat a guy like Gervonta? Just how do you stop him?
You gotta box at a premium level. It's like you can't get a Hyundai. You gotta go and get a Lexus, or you gotta get a Genesis. You gotta be at the top of the blocks with it. So I think it'll be an entertaining fight, but I don't see Frank being able to withstand the force and the power of Gervonta Davis.
So Gervonta ends up getting him out there?
I believe so, yes.
The sparring really, how much does sparring play into an actual fight? Because, you hear rumors that when Gervonta and Frank was sparring, that Frank, quote-unquote, got the better of it. Make sure I say quote-unquote, because I don't know. I wasn't there. But, I just heard it was good work. So does that play like a big part into it, like psychologically, or not really?
No, not really, because and one day you might not even feel like sparring, and you just go in there and do what you do. And it doesn't. Any day, anything could happen in sparring.
Gotcha.
Press the on button.
On?
Yeah. Give it a few seconds.
Okay.
When it's 0-0, then you get on it.
Gotcha. So yeah, you were saying that sparring doesn't really count for anything pretty much, right?
No, sparring is just working on your craft.
Gotcha.
You do different things in sparring so you can perfect your skills and work on your technique. So,
who do you think that, if you had to guess, if assuming Gervonta gets rid of Frank, who do you think he ends up fighting in like the second half?
I'd like to see some of the fights. I'd like to see. I don't know if they'll manifest themselves, but of course, I'd like to see Tank against all the top 135 pounders. I don't think he wants to deal with the 140 pounders at the moment, because then there's always a weight clause and everything else. Let him fight at 135, beat the best who are out there, and go from there.
Gotcha. And just the last thing, is there any updates in terms of like the fighters that you're having, the fighters that you have in your stable? Any updates on what's possible for them in 2024?
Well, of course, you just saw him, Affondale Castides, a.k.a. Suicide, Homicide, the Black Man, Brooklyn Boy. He's boxing purportedly on March 15th in Queens at Missouri. And we're on a 3-fight program with him to get him to a middleweight championship fight. He's working hard in the gym every day. I think he deserves it. He's bringing the force. He's still that force of nature in the ring. And I just can't wait for him to start it up again. I love the kid, and I'll always be there for him. And I know he wants to be middleweight champ of the world, so we're going to give him a shot at it. And then we have a lot of other work. Reportedly, Giovanni Scuderi is supposed to fight. We're looking at maybe the Madison Square Garden card. And then Sergey Derevyanchenko, a.k.a. the Technician, he's going to be coming back. If what I'm hearing through the grapevine is that if Canelo doesn't take Munguia for May 4th, there's a strong possibility that Sergey and Munguia will have a rematch. And I guarantee you, from the bottom of my heart, Sergey will win this fight, and it will not be a close decision.
Got it. Perfect way to end the interview. Appreciate you, Dre. Thank you.
And
man.
don't forget, Havoc Athletics, the new varsity jacket. is here. Hit us up because we are in the hurt business.
Love it. Appreciate you, Dre.